Welcome back. It's time now for our last tech talk for today, and we're joined by Nedap, who have specialised in automatic vehicle identification for over 30 years. Their goal is to identify vehicles and their drivers without delaying them. Nedap say this empowers security, parking, and traffic management systems all over the world. The company offers a broad product portfolio with high performance, long range RFID and license plate recognition systems. By choosing Nedap, technology, security, and parking professionals can improve their activities and ensure an optimal entry and exit experience. Gated vehicle access points. In doing so, congestion can be severely reduced, and visitors and employees will get to enjoy a welcoming and secured arrival and departure experience. Well, we'll be watching presentation now from Nedap, and then afterwards I'll be joined by Evelyn O'Sullivan and Michelle Courthote, who are from the company, and they're here to answer any questions that you might have about the system. So if you do have questions, if this is your first tech talk, then you just put the questions in the chat box on the right hand side of the screen, top right hand side, and we'll put them to the team. But until then, let's watch their presentation.
Welcome at today's Tech Talk. Today we will talk into more detail about license plate recognition, and in particular on license plate recognition for vehicle access control applications. First, I'd like to introduce ourselves. I'm Evelyn O'Sullivan, Proposition Manager for Nedap Identification Systems and responsible for the portfolio of long-range vehicle identification systems. Together with Michel Courthout, Manager Technical Operations, he will provide more details on the ANPR all-in-one camera and particularly the challenging environments this camera can be used in. What we will cover today. First of all, we'll talk about Nedap identification systems and the solutions we provide for vehicle access. Next to that, we'll focus on the all-in-one ANPR Lumo camera and the integration on OSDP and RESTful interface of this camera. After that, we'll focus on ANPR in environmental conditions, and also on the Q&A, which will be a live question and answer session where we answer questions in relation to the license plate recognition topic. Nedap Identification Systems is a leading specialist in automatic vehicle identification and technology partner to security access control platforms and security system integrators. We have over 30 years of expertise in automatic vehicle identification and are represented globally, ranging from the Americas, Europe, Middle East, Asia and the Pacific region. And we can support you on projects globally. Automatic vehicle identification means the capturing of a vehicle or driver automatically without the need to come to stop or to present a credential. We do this based on a number of technologies and have a broad portfolio for this. Cover the identification of the driver, the identification of the vehicle, or even the identification of the license plate. Today in particular, we will focus on license plate reading. We see a growing demand for license plate recognition projects in the security industry, especially for vehicle access applications during the last number of years. Let's have a closer look at what type of application user groups can be identified using this technology. First of all, it can identify pre-registered visitors that visit your site incidentally or occasionally. It can automatically capture them and provide a welcoming experience. Next to that, it can provide access control for staff members who arrive by car to your premises. In addition, you could also identify unannounced users who come onto your site and which you want to capture and keep track for vehicle registration purposes. About 2 years ago, we've introduced our ANPR Lumo all-in-one license plate recognition camera, which since then has provided excellent performance and has been benchmarked by industry experts and recognized for its excellent performance, especially in challenging conditions. Today, Michel Courthout will take you through the ANPR Lumo system in more detail and also into these challenging conditions it can resolve.
Thank you, Evelyn, for this introduction. First of all, we designed the ANPR Lumo taking our partners and end users in mind. For them, we created a high-performance, all-in-one license plate camera, which is suitable for all kinds of applications, from barrierless parking up to high-end security projects. Thanks to its straightforward web interface, the configuration of the ANPR Lumo is very easy. Out of the box, the ANPR Lumo comes pre-configured, and finalizing the configuration just takes minutes. Thanks to a complete new neural network and improved sensor technology, extreme high detection rates are common, even in the most difficult circumstances. You can also choose from different communication standards when it comes to integrating the ANPR Lumo into a third-party application. You can think of HTTP commands, full OSDP integration, weekend communication, and much, much more. As you all can imagine, there is basically no real standard in license plates. Any region, any country, any state has its own license plate formats. The Lumo is capable of reading those plates just by adding the correct classification file. Next to the challenges of those worldwide different license plates, the installation conditions, surrounding conditions, weather conditions, plate conditions, they have all effect on plate reading. In this example, you can see that even direct sunlight has limited effect on the read result of the ANPR Lumo. Dirty number plates. Even a number plate which is hardly IR reflective and has very limited contrast in the image is still detected by the ANPR Lumo and processed very well. Weather conditions like snow and rain have limited effect on the ANPR Lumo. In this live video footage, we will show you the actual capturing of a number plate on both a car, a motorcycle, and you can see it was in two directions. In the left hand side you can see the live text results, and you can see the statistics where you can have information about the performance of the ANPR Lumo camera. New is our OSDP support. From now on, the ANPR Lumo can be integrated into any OSDP enabled controller. From there you will benefit from secure and bidirectional communication. Any plate read data is sent through the OSDP protocol to an OSDP enabled controller. Also, our RESTful interface has new features. From now on, it can be directly linked to any cloud-based application, and for that you can use HTTP standards, TCP standards, and also FTP. Thank you for joining this Tech Talk. If you have any other questions, please contact us. We will now continue with our live Q&A.
Well, I am joined now by Evelyn O'Sullivan and Michelle Courthout from Nedap. Welcome to you both from the sunny Netherlands, I believe. How are you, Evelyn?
I'm very fine, thank you very much.
And what about you, Michelle?
I'm fine as well. The weather was great over here, so.
So you're smiling, feeling happy, and ready to answer some questions. So just to remind everyone as well, if you do have questions while we're speaking, then you can pop them in the chat box and I'll put them to Michelle or to Evelyn during this Q&A session. So let's kick off because we do have one question that's come through already. And the question is, how do you prevent the risk of fake license plate numbers gaining access through ANPR? Evelyn, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I think that what's key important, please add to this, Michelle, as well. Of course, the camera detects IR reflective license plate. So the license plate actually needs to be IR reflective to be detected. And therefore you balance out also partly, of course, fake license plates. In a lot of countries, there's a policy in place where it's not so easy to actually obtain new license plates, where you need to have the full vehicle registration details in order to obtain a license plate number.
Great. Michelle, is there anything to add?
Sorry, the sound was.
Oh no, don't worry. I was just saying, is there anything more you'd like to add to that?
No, I think Evelyn has answered to this question more than great. So.
Excellent. And can I ask, I guess, a more general question as well? We've seen the presentation, but Michelle, what would you say are the greatest benefits of going with ANPR Lumo?
Well, looking at the ANPR Lumo, I think that the time it takes to install the camera is very quick. So that means that because the camera is an all-in-one license plate camera, and it comes out of the box pre-configured. So the time that it takes to set and configure the camera is very short. So the installation time is very short. That is, I think, one of the big benefits. And also, of course, we have different kind of integration possibilities. So that makes it, from a technical point of view, at least for the engineers, quite easy to commissioning a new ANPR Lumo project.
Yeah, so quick to install.
Yeah.
Thank you. We've got another question that's come through, and this one is, can the camera be viewed on a Nedap compatible CCTV system? So Evelyn, could you know if that's possible?
Yeah, of course, it's an all-in-one camera. That means we integrate with third-party access control platforms. It's not a video management system as such. It's a license plate camera reader, and we integrated therefore in existing access control systems. So the information can actually be viewed in the access control system. There's also a web interface available on each camera, which you can view actually the information as well. But that's normally used to configure the camera.
Okay, excellent. And Michelle, with the specifics, are there different kinds of Lumo cameras for different reading distances?
No, that's also the nice thing. So when it comes to doing a new project, there is basically only one article number or one product you need. It's the ANPR Lumo. The Lumo is out of the box capable of reading license plates from 2 to 10 meters distance. And if you need, for example, a shorter range, so let's say you only want to read number plates from between, let's say, 2 to 4 meters, then you just adjust some of the software settings, and then you're already done. So there is no need or no scariness that you are ordering the wrong camera, for example. There's one article number, one product, and that will fit basically any situation in this circumstance.
Okay, great, thank you. So we've got a couple more questions that are coming in. Thank you for these questions. This next one is, in the video it was mentioned that it's possible to detect the driver. How is that done? Evelyn?
Yeah, the ANPR camera only detects, of course, the license plates. So it's automatic number plate recognition and therefore captures the license plate of a vehicle. We do see combinations of projects where you want to capture driver and vehicle, where a separate device or credential is used to identify the driver, for example, and a combination is actually made. But the license plate camera only captures the license plate and therefore only the vehicle. In the access control system, of course, you can set up whether you want the credential to be linked to a vehicle or whether that's linked to a driver.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for that question. And Michelle, another question that's come in is, does it support Ethernet connection?
Of course, yeah. The camera is IP based. That means that yes, the camera supports. So it has an IP interface for the configuration of the camera. So the web interface and all the software is running on the camera. And to access that software, you need to have an Ethernet connection to the camera. Also, sending data from the camera to a third-party platform is either done through the Ethernet interface or through the OSDP or serial or weekend interface. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And I think we spoke a bit about this when we were talking about reading distances, but someone has asked, what's the range of the device, Michelle?
The read range is, if you're talking about read range, it's out of the box 2 to 10 meters reading distance, and everything is optimized to read in that reading range. Yeah.
What's key to add to this also is, of course, that the region of interest in which the camera reads is fully configurable. And therefore, you can set exactly in which zone you want the camera to detect. And that's up to about 3.5 meters with size, actually. So it offers a great variety in that to cover actually most projects and even the most challenging environments, therefore.
Yeah. And next to the region of interest part, it's also that we can set up multiple region of interests. And any of those region of interest can also be made directional sensitive. So that means that in a certain region of interest, you only want to detect a vehicle when it's, for example, approaching the camera or just leaving the camera or driving in a certain direction. So that comes in handy when you combine ANPR Lumo with a barrier, for example.
Great, thank you. I hope that answered the question. That's wonderful. So another question that we've got here is Nedap ANPR support Saudi Arabia car plate number? And what about possibility to integrate with other third-party systems? So can you read all plate number types in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, so if you're talking about in Saudi Arabia, you have next to the standard characters, you have also the Arabic number. Yeah, what is it? The Arabic characters, basically. It is also possible that the ANPR Lumo can also read those number plates. When you're talking about integration, because we have different types of ways to integrate the ANPR Lumo, so you can either use TCP, so you can use TCP messaging to send license plate data to a third-party system through the TCP messaging, but also through HTTP, so you can also send data to an HTTP protocol. Next to that, we have our serial communication. So if your access control panel needs a serial connection like RS232 or RS485, we can use that as a communication method. Even the old-fashioned weekend protocol is supported by the ANPR Lumo. So there are different ways of integrating that ANPR Lumo into any third-party system. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Thank you for that question too. Our next question is about data. And the question is, can the data be connected to a cloud system and viewed remotely?
Well, I want to answer this one as well. Yes, because we are supporting a different kind of cloud connection method. So for example, the latest one we have introduced is the HAMAC authentication method. And that's a standard used by Amazon and by Azure. That means that if you are building your services on Amazon cloud or an Azure cloud, the ANPR Lumo can directly send that data to these cloud services. So I think that will answer that question.
Great, thank you, Michelle. And so we have lots of questions coming through, which is great to see. Lots of interest here. So what is the maximum speed of the car which Lumo can read the plate number? Evelyn, what's the maximum speed?
The maximum speed is up to 130 kilometers per hour.
Okay, great. There you go, 130 kilometers per hour. The next question is, has the ANPR Lumo been integrated with Integrity Access Control System from inner range?
This one I would need to check, sorry. The person who asked this question, we do have the integration documentation available. I believe it has initially been set up through Wiegand, if I'm correct, or could be Ethernet. But we do have some integration documentation available, how the integration is done on the inner range integrity product. But please, if that person could contact us afterwards, we could provide him the relevant information regarding this.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there are sort of more specific questions afterwards, you can contact the representative for Nedap at their exhibitor booth and can find out more of that information. So thank you for that. So the next question that I've got here is the camera, well, can the camera recognize the color or sample on car plate numbers? Michelle?
No, the ANPR Lumo is has a black and white sensor and is using infrared technology, and that combination is basically not possible to detect colors on the number plate. Also, when you look at reading ANPR license plate or reading a license plate 24/7, 24/7 also means that during the night you need some kind of artificial light to detect colors. So basically, that is not integrated into our camera. No, only black and white.
Okay. Thank you for that, and thank you for the question too. Another question as well is, can the Lumo be used in barrier-less parking environments?
Yeah, especially with the ANPR Lumo has been actually selected also a lot in the parking industry to provide actually free flow parking applications, especially due to its very high performance and the possibility to check even in challenging environments, as Michelle already indicated in the Tech Talk presentation, during weather conditions, but also different reading angles. And to provide that high accuracy, especially, of course, most of the applications that are done in this park environment are payment related. So payment is actually attached to the recording of the ANPR Lumo camera. So it's especially suitable for free flow applications due to its high accuracy.
Excellent. So we've got a few more minutes left. So if you do have any other questions for Michelle or Evelyn, please do pop them in the chat box and I'll try and put them to one of them. And I have another question actually, which I guess is a more general question, but how has the market reacted to the camera, Michelle? And have there been any surprises?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm more like from the technical part, so maybe Evelyn can kick in as well. What I see is that the ANPR Lumo was when we introduced the ANPR Lumo, we saw a big wow effect because we did a few things. We saw that other cameras were quite difficult when it comes to configuration when it comes to configuring the Lumo camera. So we made a very easy web interface on the camera that anybody would understand. Also, we introduced, for example, the multilingual interface. That means that we support right now the Dutch, English, Italian, French, Spanish, and German language in our software. That means that also for an engineer from Spain, they can see the camera in their own language, and that makes also configuring the Lumo more easy in that part. So more from a technical product to a user-friendly product, and that is, I think, the biggest wow effect we saw since we introduced the camera. Next to, of course, its high performance, but yeah.
What's important to add to that, I think, is also that it's been interesting to see that the market there's a lot of ANPR cameras in the market, and a lot of leading organizations in the market have actually benchmarked our camera against other cameras in very challenging environments, indeed, and which they've actually stated that it outperformed. So the independent research outperformed a lot of other cameras in the industry, which is, of course, a great benefit to hear.
And a great compliment that you're the benchmark camera as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, we've got a couple more questions that have come in as well. So this question is, can the device be integrated with digital signage, for instance, welcome messages in supermarkets? Who'd like to pick that one up?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this, of course, how the signage will work, but I'm not seeing any technical issues. So because in the ANPR Lumo you can compose your own IP or HTTP message, so you can basically contain any of the data. It can contain a license plate, but you can also add own text to the message. So it could be that we can send a message, welcome license plate. So that is all possible. So I think that is absolutely possible without any hiccups. Yeah.
We're just a bit hesitant as we haven't done it before, but we're always open to try new projects we haven't done before.
How things are working, and I have an idea about how these digital signs work. So that's basically also a HTTP server where you can send something to. So yeah.
Excellent. There you go. You've given Michelle and Evelyn something new to think about.
Definitely.
Always good. So we have another question here, which is, in your experience, does the LumoNPR have a good performance in dark environments or fog?
I think you saw it on the video as well. So I think that is the most difficult circumstances are weather conditions, and thanks to the algorithms we use, and thanks to the deep learning algorithm we use inside the camera, we are able of reading those license plates in these kind of environments. Even looking at when you look at the technical point of view, it's easier to read a license plate at night than during the day, but that is sounds maybe a little bit stupid, but that is actually the case. And like rain and snow, all these things are making ANPR reads more difficult. But we have right now tested the Lumo in different circumstances, and we see that there's a big difference in comparison with others. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you so much for all your questions. So we're coming towards the end of this session, and I just wanted to ask, is there anything that our audience should be keeping an eye out for the future in terms of what Nedap is doing?
Yeah, I think the introduction of the ANPR Lumo was only the start. We'll be further enhancing the camera and actually putting more features into the camera, which will be coming up in the very near future. Perhaps, Michelle, you can outline something about it already.
Because next to the hardware platform of the ANPR Lumo, there's also the software component involved. And through the lifespan of the ANPR Lumo, we support all these new updates for free as a download on our website. That means that any new features that we are going to add in the upcoming periods will be available for anyone basically. And right now we introduce, for example, just mentioned the HAMAC security, but also a heat map feature. So we all kind of working all kind of new features to better help our customers in solving their ANPR problems.
Lovely, thank you. Well, thank you so much for both of you for joining us this morning, well, I should say this afternoon in the UK, certainly. Thank you to Evelyn O'Sullivan and Michelle Courthout from Nedap. And if you do have any more questions about the products that have been discussed during this session, you can book some time in with a representative from Nedap. Just go to their exhibitor booth and they can sort that out. So thank you so much, Evelyn. Thank you, Michelle, for joining us on this Tech Talk. Up next this afternoon, we have the future of access control, a panel discussion at 2 o'clock. So hope you can join us for that. And then I'll be back tomorrow with some more tech talk. So until then, hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.
Thanks, Gita.
Thanks.